You're welcome back to the Afia Business Morning right here on Afia TV, and you are watching Global Business. I'm being joined by amazing Grace Ajayi, Afia TV's international correspondent, who joins us live from Moscow in Russia. It's good to have you, amazing Grace. Good morning.
Good morning, Ubong. Good to be on the Global Business Report.
Yeah,
Good morning.
Great. It's good
It's
to have
afternoon here, all the same. It's about 12:45 p.m., so I should say good afternoon from Moscow.
Okay, that's fine. That's really fine. Good afternoon to you too. Let's get into this. You've been in Moscow for a while, and it was off the heels of the just concluded St. Petersburg International Economic Forum in Russia. Can you just tell us a brief overview what this economic forum was all about, basically?
Okay, great. So for the first time in the history of television in the Southeast, Afia TV was represented here in Moscow, Russia. And I think it's a big ups for us. Kudos to Afia TV and the managing director, Mr. Emeka Mba, for making this happen. And of course, the St. Petersburg International Economic Forum is a Russia-Africa business dialogue, and it comes in a traditional format that has been bringing together business and official circles from Africa and Russia into SPIEF since 2016. Now, however, this year, about 17,100 people and 3,400 media representatives were at the So SPIEF serves as one of the sovereign centers of global development, and it's fulfilling its historically established unique mission of maintaining the global balance power. And the forum was historically intended for Russia to attract foreign direct investments, discuss economic policy, and project a global image that Russia was open for business, the dissolution of the Soviet Union.
Okay. All right, great. But let's talk about your experience so far with reference to trade and commerce there. And there's this school of thought that opines that it's usually a hard time for especially Nigerians trying to exchange the naira for the currency used in Russia. What's been your experience really like as far as the naira and the currency exchange of Russia, really?
Great. It was a very humbling experience for me as a Nigerian. Now, when I got into the airport at Moscow, I was very happy and excited. You know, I had all the pass and everything. But then at the airport, you had to register your phone, you know, and the registration wasn't just coming through because I had a Nigerian number, of course. And well, I thought to myself, why not get yourself a SIM card so you'll be able to get your Wi-Fi enabled and, you know, be able to reach out to people to tell them that you're here on ground. And so I walked over to an exchange shop right there at the airport and discovered that the woman, of course, there's a language barrier and I couldn't hear her. And then I had to turn on my Google Translate and I spoke to her and I said, I want to exchange. I said, look up the listing on the wall. And I looked at the electronic billboard and discovered that sadly, Naira wasn't listed on the billboard. And so I didn't know what to do. And I asked her, I said, can I transfer Naira from my card, you know, to you? And she said, she didn't even know what Naira was. That's so sad, Ubong. In fact, it was that bad that the guy who eventually gave me my SIM card for free, you know, he's a Muslim and he just gave it to me because he felt I was stranded. And he said, can I have a picture of the Naira? They'd never seen that currency before. You know, so some people had to Google up the currency and they saw that, well, it's nowhere, it's not popular here, and it's not even listed. It took me going underground by metro train from 7 p.m. here, and I got to far away from the central place where I stay, and I had to get to the place by 1 a.m. metro trains until I got to a place where I found a night. That's how, you know, I was able to get Naira. So it's so sad. You know, when you're back in Nigeria, you feel that everything is going well. You know, if it
I get that. I get that sentiment. Right.
think hardship. But when you leave the shores of Nigeria, then you begin to feel the impact of what the economic situation is and how Nigerians on that listing. I traveled down here with an Angola girl who went on the board. She saw her currency there and she was able to just exchange, but I couldn't.
Interesting. So now let's look at something really quickly because of the want of time or the lack of it, because we don't have so much time left anyway. The Zimbabwe president did say quite a number of things during that that particular event, where he was quoted saying there was a lot Russia could do for Africa, and they need to disassociate Africa from the hold of the West. Your point of view, Jai, let's talk about it. I mean, we know that BRICS is something that someone called it world power, as it were, a bloc, a regional bloc that could help build Africa, so to speak, and other developing countries in the world. How come Nigeria is not part of this, and what are your thoughts on that particular video and the words spoken by the Zimbabwean president?
Okay, so for context purpose, would like to explain what the word BRICS means. So it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Yeah.
And so originally it was supposed to be BRICS, which would have been Brazil, Russia, India, Nigeria,
right.
China, and South Africa.
Right.
But you see, Nigeria is obviously missing. So I really would think that aligning with what the Zimbabwean president has said is key, because for how long really are we going to shy away from the conversations of how much the West has had a hold on Africa, especially when it comes to Nigeria and of course the resource exploitation and all of that conversation